So it's great to be here in Parliament House in Canberra, and it's going to be Keith's pop-up kitchen. So we're going to set up in a few minutes, just on the lawn. We're going to make some fantastic food. It's going to be great fun, so come and join us. Right, it's great to be here in Canberra in front of the wonderful Parliament House here. So I'm not going to spend too long because we've got lots of hungry people here. We got me for a start. Canberra crew, they're really hungry. We have policemen coming up. We got cyclists coming, tourists, everything, politicians, reporters, I don't know. So we're going to get going anyway. So what I wanted to show you today, a lot of people said to me, Keith, I just don't have time to cook. I can't understand that because I just love cooking. But anyhow, so what we come up with is our 7-day meal plan. And we want to make it as simple and as easy as possible, and you're going to see this is like fantastic. So we just use a hot pot to cook a very simple stew like this. As you can see here, we got just some lentils. It's just basically, to be honest, what I found in the fridge this morning. We make this wonderful stew here. Got some pumpkin there, some celery, I got some red onion, I got some carrot, I got some parsnip. It's just some wonderful leek as well as there. Just some wonderful vegetables, just with lentils. And all we do is add some stock. Stock's important because if you just add water, it's going to dilute the taste. You're going to have to add more salt and pepper. So get a good vegetable stock, or you can make your own out of your vegetable peelings, whatever. We pour that on, we put it in the slow cooker for, you can do it overnight, so it's ready for you in the morning, and then you can take some to work in a thermos. Or you can put it on in the morning, then it's ready for you in the evening. Now the fantastic thing about this is you cook once and eat twice. So from this stew, you can then spice it up in the evening, which we're going to show you how to do in a minute. And then you can make a whole week's worth of recipes. So as you can see, we got something here, a mung bean stew. Then in the evening you make a mung bean curry. Split peas, split pea curry. And then we got a miso soup and a tofu stir fry. So there's a whole week's plan there. And the amazing feedback we've had is people say they love it. They just lose weight, although they're eating more. And they feel more energetic in the morning and they feel great. So I'd say it's very, very simple. This is like day 5 really, where we make the lentil soup. As you can see here, there's red lentils, onion, we can put garlic in it, we can put carrot in it. There's all sorts of vegetables to put in it. It's very, very simple. So now I get my stock, all I do. So this literally, the whole idea is that in the evening, it's, if you've had a long shift or you've been working really long hours, you're really tired, you still probably got enough energy to do this, just to wash some lentils, chop up some vegetables, put it in the slow cooker, put on some stock like that. You just cover it well with stock. So it's going to expand, the lentils are going to grow. It's a very economical food, because it just keeps, you start off with a few ingredients and you end up with a lot. So as I say, you could either do that overnight or you could do it. It's going to take 4 to 6 hours, maybe 8 hours, depending on the setting on the slow cooker. But these are worth their weight in gold, because the fantastic thing is you can leave it on, you can go to work, you can go to sleep, you can go out for the day, and when you come back, it's all ready. So the idea is with this, you've got this wonderful stew here, and you can put it in your thermos flask, or you can have it for lunch, or you can have it evening meal. And believe me, that simple food, just that simple lentils and vegetables, it's surprisingly delicious when you cook it slowly. It's the way it's meant to be cooked. It becomes sweet, it becomes delicious, and it's very, very nourishing. It's very, very healthy for you. I say, people said they lose weight, they have more energy, and it's very, very economical as well. So as I promised, we're going to cook once. So we've had one delicious meal already, a lovely stew which you might have taken to work, or be a lovely lunch, or even a lovely evening meal. You can just have it by the fire with a lovely bit of bread or something like that. But now we're going to spice it up in a wonderful way, and this is following Ayurvedic principles. So it's going to taste delicious, it's going to be so vibrant, but also all the spices we're using are really good for your health as well. So the first one we're going to put in is some mustard seed. They're the brown or black mustard seeds, and they're not only delicious, but they really help you digest the pulses, the vegetables, that sort of thing. If you have trouble dealing with that sort of food, it's quite high fibre and that sort of thing, then this really helps. The mustard seeds, not only they had a wonderful taste, and we're going to pop them a little bit like popcorn, so you need a lid, and then we've got to put that on there, and don't look in the pan to see if they're popping, just wait, and you should hear them in a minute. They just sort of pop and crackle like popcorn. Now while that's, before that, I've been prepared, so here I've got garlic. Oh, right, they're just starting to pop now. Can you see them? I don't know if you can see them there. Can you hear them? I'll just be quiet, see if you can. If I get the microphone a bit closer, hang on. Don't know if you can hear them. That's a wonderful crackling sound. Now the way I imagine it, it's almost like a thick rain cloud coming over, you know, on a tin roof. And you hear that sound of the rain, just like that. And then as the cloud is sort of passing and it begins to die down a bit, the pan's very hot at the moment, so we need to cool it down a little bit. So the first thing we can do is just turn the heat off. Then we put in a little bit of onion, okay? There we go, okay? That just cools it down a bit. Now the next thing we're going to put in is a very important ingredient. It's called asafoetida, and this really helps you digest beans and pulses. Any of you have a problem with gas or bloating with this sort of food? This stuff is fantastic. Just a pinch like that of asafoetida is so good. It stops all the bloating, stops the gas. Believe me, it can save your marriage. So we just need to go in the hot oil like that, a little bit of that, and then we're going to add a little bit more onion in there because the pan's quite hot. I can see it's very hot still. Okay, now there's my holy trinity of spices now that, and we got some cumin and coriander. It's a very gentle spice. It's a bit like fennel. It's very soft on your digestion, but also delicious. So put a little bit of that in there. Then we got some turmeric. I mean, the world is going crazy over turmeric at the moment. So we just it gives you a lovely colour. It's a natural antioxidant. It's just so good for you. Okay, great. So that's our ingredients, 4 ingredients. So we had the mustard seed, asafoetida, that's actually ground cumin, ground coriander mixed. Some turmeric, it's very, very simple. Then the onion. Now we give it 1 stir. I've actually turned the heat off the pan because I just don't want things to burn. Okay, and then we're going to add our garlic and ginger. So that's a garlic and ginger paste. Now it's quite important to crush it like this in a pestle and mortar, or use a garlic crush. Not just because it sounds good and it looks good, looks authentic, but that sort of crushing, it bruises it, it sort of, it gets the enzymes going, it makes it much more digestible. If you ever wonder why, you know, this is like an Indian recipe in a way, why it doesn't taste authentic, that's because there's a few important stages you have to follow. So you have to crack the mustard seeds, you have to just fry the asafoetida, but crushing the garlic and the ginger. And then this part, we don't rush. In the world today, everyone's rushing, you know, want everything straight away. This is a quick recipe, but this part we don't want to rush. We want these onions, this garlic and this ginger to cook very slowly. So now we have a low heat, okay, and then we put in our garlic and ginger paste. And when I'm in India, my friends there say to me that the big mistake people make in the West is they rush this part. We want that beautiful onions, the garlic, it's just to sweeten. So what we can do is just put the lid on, and we cook that very slowly, just for about 5 minutes or so. It's sort of cooking in its own steam. Be careful it doesn't burn. If it starts to catch, you can just add a little bit more water or stock. And we just be patient this part, just for a few minutes, have a cup of tea while it's doing that, and then join me in a few minutes and it'll all be ready. Great, so the onion, garlic, spices, you can see that wonderful steam coming up. There's a wonderful smell here. I wish you had the technology so you could smell it. It's just incredible. And that's part of getting ready for the meal really. One part is sound of the chopping, then you hear the grinding of the spices, then you hear the spices and you smell them. It's all part of the wonderful preparation of having a great meal. Okay, so as you can see, these are getting quite sweet now, but it's beginning to dry out a bit. So what I do sometimes, it depends on the size of the pan, just add a little bit of water, like that, and then we can cook it for a little bit longer without it drying out or sticking to the pan or getting burnt. Great, so I've had a nice cup of tea, and here you can see the spices are lovely and soft and sweet and delicious. So in a minute, all we're going to do is add some of the stew that we made earlier into this to make the second dish. So you can add a little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper if you want. And there's one ingredient I wanted to show you. I don't know if you know what that is. That is called jaggery, it's or gore. It's just made from sugarcane juice and it's melted down. And you can add a little bit of that. It's like a healthy sweetener, just adds a sort of richness to it, or a little bit of coconut sugar if you want to. So we got the base there, and it's very, very easy now. We're just going to add some of our stew to it, to that lovely sort of curry paste. And this is sort of curry paste you could use for all sorts of dishes really. Once you've got this basic technique, cooking doesn't have to be so complicated, because this isn't just about taste, it's about health as well. Each one of those spices cooked in the right way to really help your digestion, help you really absorb that meal. So the other thing you can do now is, rather than use tinned tomatoes or something like that, just get some wonderful fresh tomatoes, peel them, chop them up, and you can put them in at this stage and cook them for a bit longer, and that gives you a sort of lovely tomatoey base as well. But today we're just doing it like this, and we add some of our stew from earlier, that's it, and that's how we make the second dish. Okay, we're just gonna stir that together now, heat it through, which is wonderful. A little bit of the jaggery can go in, okay, just that's optional, you don't have to add that if you don't want to. A little bit more salt. Again, in this natural food we worry about salt, but in this natural food, which is low in salt, really salt's a problem when we're having lots of processed foods, but we can just add a little bit here, like great chefs do, just to bring out the flavour. And it is a mineral that we need, so used in the right way, it's it's not harmful to you. And we just add a little bit of salt there, give it a good stir like that, and that's more or less it. We could add some coriander, parsley, something like that, to give it a really good colour. And I'm just going to try it now. Okay, it's a little bit, it's a shame you can't try it yourselves. There it is, looks delicious. Hang on a minute. I'm not kidding. That is really, really good. And it's amazing. You'd think it's pretty much the same meal, but now I taste this. That's delicious in a different way, because you can really taste the vegetables. I just tasted the parsnip there and the pumpkin. And it's amazing how that transformation does really create two fantastic meals. Right folks, come here, you've got to try it. This is, you see how authentic it is. Now, don't know if you recognise this. We got some like mustard seed. You know what that is?
Yeah, he knows.
Right. Well, yeah, and you know what? Howdy. Turmeric. We got turmeric, dhania. We got asafoetida. So the whole idea of this is we've just made a sort of a stew in this slow cooker, so you can just leave it all day, cooking lentil, vegetable, mung bean, whatever, and then you got like just a little vegetable dish you can take to work or something like that. And then we spiced it up using all these ingredients. Now I want you to tell me if it's authentic or not. So yeah, you're going to try it now. So here we go. So this is a real test, because I'm doing sort of Indian cooking, and now there you go. See, like that. Here we go. Okay, all right. I think there's enough for everyone. Wow, look at that. There we go. Okay, you can try that. Right. So we're going to catch the expressions so you can't fib once, you know. There
Thank
we
you.
go.
That's good
Okay.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are good enough. Yeah, thank you.
Right. Okay. Right. Is it like some? Come on.
No,
Get a
that's
little.
okay.
Yeah.
Is it any dal?
Sorry.
Here any dal?
Yeah. Yeah. This is just with lentils actually. Yeah. Red lentils I get used. Sometimes I use split mung or green mung or yeah mung dal. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. What do you think? Is it pretty? Is it as good as mum's? So, no, you got to be truthful now. Well, Dad's got to try it. You got to try some. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here we go. And then, here we go. There you go.
The flavor is so good.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty authentic, really, for you know. Because my wife's from India, and she never used to like my cooking, you know. But then somehow I managed to get it, get it right. I think it's the garlic and the onions. You got to crush it, and you got to cook it
Indian.
very slowly. Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
your favorite Indian dish?
Yeah, dosa, masala dosa. It is, yeah, yeah. I try not to have it when I'm not in India because it's never quite the same. I just want to keep that experience for. But I just like all food really, and whenever I go.
Side is
just-
for puris.
Sorry?
Puris and chapati.
Puris, yeah, yeah, chapati. So I like chapati and yeah, puri. Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it?
He says
I
this
just-
is a good side dish for chapatis. This
Yeah,
will be,
yeah.
This will go well with rotis and rice.
Yeah, and it's a great thing because I've been vegetarian for about 30 years, and you know it used to be quite difficult at home. But when I go to Gujarat, it's just like normal, like you know everything's there, and it's like the haute cuisine of cooking. Really, it's just. But I think more than anything, it's the love that goes into it as well that makes
Definitely.
the difference. You know, it's not just done in a rush. It's something important, isn't
My
it? As you
mom
do.
spends almost 3/4
Yeah.
of her day in kitchen. Yeah,
I know, it's so
every single
important.
meal,
Yeah, tell me what you think of it, because, you know, you can tell the truth or you can be kind. I don't mind.
No, we absolutely loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's far better than some of the food restaurants what is there in
Yeah.
Australia. It's
Yeah.
so good.
The flavor
Yeah.
is so
Yeah.
authentic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, because it's meant to be delicious and healthy, isn't it? But have some more. Here we go. Right.